And that one will be sent all the way, streaking ball opportunity in the midfield. Chance there for the 21 of Justin Mendez, and there were 3 Falcons defenders to meet him. Good opportunity across. Will just bounce and be controlled along. Tilt yourself down a little bit. I think that'll fix. Yeah. There you are. You're good. Come back a little bit on your zoom. A little bit more. Perfect. An opportunity here for the Falcons on the free kick. Sent all the way to the opposite side, moved along by Stewart. Stewart through the midfield now. Looking for Merlino, could not get to him. Bounces off of the chest of a Falcons player and may have gone out of play on the opposite side touchline. And it looks like it's going to be a free kick given to the Huskies. So McDougal will have this. Straight across the alley. They go through the center looking for the 15 of Loisel. Nothing there for him. Turned over, coming through, and Ferris will get to that ball before is it approached on by the 21 of Rendon. Good kick from Ferris back to the circle at center. Can be shepherded on the outside line, not turned. It's just pushed out by Tebow. Rendon. Throw in, pulls that back. Tied up in the corner. Good defensive dispossession by De Oliveira. Hudak battles one-on-one against the 18 of Ashan, and that one is sent well out of play, and that will be a 6. .32 left to go here in the first. Sent by Ferris. Or the 18 of Ashan. Or sorry, my apologies, the 18 in black of Aiden Weber. Again, looking for that 12 of Hudak. Could not connect to him. And then sent out of play. And here's addition of what we call broadcasters chaos. Mount Hope has subbed a player in who is probably from their JV side, who is also wearing jersey number 12. And so now we have 2 12s on the field. The blonde-haired 12 in the middle of the field is Aiden Hudak. We'll figure out who the other 12 is that has now come into this game. On the outside. And it's tapped away. Carried by Manes. Manes forward looking for Weber. And that one goes back for Hudak in the center of the field. A little one touch. Had that one forward for a moment to Loisel. Came back. Switched by Sebastian Manes. Down the line and trying to streak for it was Aiden Weber. The other 12, they do not have listed. We will figure that one out. Cross for a throw in as McDougal will come up to take that one on the sideline. Into the center, sliding for it. And coming up with it is the Huskies offense. First on that with a good touch is Mendez. Across for Hudak, who's going to take a strike, and that one will just bounce in to be scooped by Izzy. Angelo Izzy in goal tonight for the Falcons, the senior, against the freshman Aaron Ferris. And we've seen a little bit of platooning between Ferris and the other freshman goalkeeper, Evan Garys. We'll see who gets the bulk of time tonight. Ferris played fairly well in the first half of the game last time out. In the center of the pitch, it can be moved along craftfully by the 15 of Loisel. Loisel on the far sideline pushes that one over, and that is tapped out by Ezra Manes, and will be a throw-in for the Huskies. Manes, headed for a moment by De Oliveira, comes back to Andriozzi. Errant ball bouncing around in the center of the pitch is moved forward by Loisel. On the outside, an opportunity with space and speed, and getting pushed down goes the 18 of Aiden Weber right on the edge line of this track, which is not exactly a nice surface, and the referee is going to go over and have a little conversation with the 15 of Vinny Merlino. So it's going to send the 25 of Dylan De Oliveira free kick in a dangerous space, and that one will go right in. This one goes across and out of play. So this one will be a throw-in for the Huskies. McDougal from the far side. Across the sideline, opportunity in the center and a strike, and that one goes out of play. across the line. They're going to say out of play for a 6. And a couple of good attempts here from the Huskies on the Falcons defense and the Falcons goalkeeper.
Gary, it was 2007 I started. Yeah, because I did 2 years with Jack Perry, then a year with Billy, then I took over.
And a whistle and a stoppage of play.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure what we got the stoppage for. It looks like an injury to a Falcons player on the opposite side. As he was not attended to by the training staff, but he does come off the pitch, and now we're back and underway. In center for the 9. And that one goes on the outside. Or Justin Mendez. Mendez tries to get that one forward. Stretching out, trying to get there. As the 15 of Wazell can't get to it. Thomas Nenka has entered into the game, playing up in that front forward position in the 9. I got his number and couldn't get his name out in a second before things turned back. Ferris picks that one up as it rolls. 23 and change left to go here in the first half. No score between the Huskies and the Falcons. We thank you for tuning in on Fans Only Sports Network tonight. As this one's going to come right in on Ferris, and he may have gotten a toe to it. Enough to block it away, Andriozzi. All the way down. Bumped away by the 15 of Merlino. Cleared back into the midfield. Nenka trying to get on it for the Huskies. Could not. Bounces back once again. And still bottled up in the midfield. Pushed by the 21 of Mendez as it ping-pongs around through multiple players. Hudak trying to get one defensively. Is that one tapped off onto Vashon? Hard shot on the outside. And a save by Ferris as Rendon took a strike. And another strike, and they're going to try to call corner, or at least the Falcons wanted it, as Rendon in the mixer this time on that corner attempt. Tried to redirect it. Could not get it in his favor. Once again across. Picked up here. Shot attempt and tipped away by Ferris. As that one came from the opposite side corner this time. They're shooting at Ferris from left and right. And this freshman goalkeeper is not scared one bit as he's knocking them away. As the 9 in white and red of Luke Reiner this time. inserted on the corner from Ezra Manes for the 19 of David Horde. Getting to that and turning it up the line, or trying to turn it up the line, was Tebow. That one's going to go outside of the line. And will be a corner kick for the Falcons. Now from the corner into the mix, and Ferris is right there to catch it. Ferris with time and space to kick. Sends that one all the way to midfield. It's tapped and continued on by Rendon for a moment. Turned the opposite way craftfully by the 20 of Tebow. Looking for Nenka on the sideline. They're able to keep it in, and then it goes behind him. Defending was Loiselle. Back in the midfield. Manes gets that one forward, trying to get on it. Is Justin Mendez. Mendez getting hampered all over the place. Still keeping hold of the ball. Comes across. Sitting there, still turned. And now finally will be sent on net, where it's saved by Izzy. And Izzy is frustrated with his defense. Izzy sends that one. Tapped down. Hudak trying to get it off of the back side of the 18 of Peter Vashon. As it goes across for Loiselle. Once again for Mendez. Mendez gets taken down. And no call from the referee, other than to say the ball went out of the touchline, and so they're going to give a throw in to the Huskies. Huskies try to start from the spot with a check down throw, and that went nowhere. Pushed back out again, so they'll go one more time. Through the center, pushed to the opposite side touchline. Trying to get there is Rendon. Rendon gets to it. Gets pushed backwards to the byline. Has to try to cut across now. And it will be taken at midfield by Andriozzi. Tapped off by De Oliveira. On the opposite side for Mendez. Mendez getting hampered once again. This time by the 20 of Abraham Baldemar. And no call from the AR on that side of the field or from the center referee. They're playing with two referees today, so they're positioned as that one came all the way across. And they're going to say deflection off Cranston West, and we'll set up a Mount Hope corner. The referee's playing in a very interesting position with only the two referees on the system. Playing both like ARs, not really having a referee in the center. And they're missing a lot of calls that should be. Oh, that one went right, curled across, and almost an Olympico. But Izzy makes the save. Falcons trying to look for a quick breakout here. Reiner gets overrun by McDougal. Reiner goes down. McDougal comes with the ball. Good no call that time. Oh, and now they're going to give the throw in to the Falcons. Just as I was about to compliment the referees, they go and do that. I will reserve my comment then. bevy of substitutions for the Falcons as we play with 15 left to go here in the first. That's the 2 of Chris Melise to make the throw in. Comes across the center, shot attempt there from the 4 of Aiden Rivera as he just entered the game, and that will be out of the back line, an A6 for the Huskies. Rhode Island High School Sports on Fans Only Sports Network is brought to you by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Avenue in Cranston, Rhode Island. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. Visit josephlammy.com for more information. By Odyssey Group, groundbreaking concussion protocols. Visit odysseygi.com for more information. And by RR Elite Recruits, with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by being a part of RR Elite Recruits. Sign up for your 7-day free trial today at rreliterecruits.com. 3,000 schools, roughly 3,700 coaches between Division 1, 2, 3 NAIA junior colleges on the men's soccer side, as we have database contact information to all of the heads and assistant coaches for all of the schools, and a way to try to help Rhode Islanders and a player in no matter what state you're in get to the next level. Nenka tripped up on the play there. Goes outside well too far. Was the send from the 24 in right and wet of Jonathan Frias. And so it'll be a throw-in for Manas, and the Huskies went right to Frias. Andriozzi tried to come through. Could not be controlled by him. Manes tried to turn that one up the alley, could not. And a whistle and a stoppage of play for another Falcon substitution on their throw-in, as Ezra Manes will actually be the one to be subbed. And it will give the throw-in to the 3 of Aiden Hay. So Aiden Hay will make the throw. Tapped away from Reiner by Andriozzi, out of play, and another Falcons corner. That one is coming all the way back. Izzy at midfield. We'll have to run all the way back now as the Falcons try to work this one through the midfield. Back on the outside touchline for Hay. Hay evades the Huskies defender there. Into the middle for Loisel. Had it for a moment for Nenka. One touch back on the outside line. And that one will be a Falcons throw. Game 1 on the new week as we launch into, we'll call it week 3 of the fall sports season here on Fans Only Sports Network. And of course, for information on all games past and upcoming, you can visit Fans Only Sports. That's fansonlysportz.com for more information. And as always, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Let's go to facebook.com/FOSPRTZ. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at FOSPRTZ. We will be back here Wednesday night as these Huskies will be in action against the LaSalle Rams. First time on the year that we will see the LaSalle Rams men's soccer team in action. They whistle and a stoppage of play on the foul called from the trip. So Aiden McDougall will trot and place the ball for the free kick. 10 left to go here in this first half. And a little bit more disciplined first half that we've seen out of the Huskies. Saw this kind of come to light in the second half of their previous games, but now seeing it in the first half. Can the Huskies put together 40 minutes of soccer in the first half and then put together a good 40 minutes of soccer in the second half? Can they play a full 80 tonight and maybe find themselves on the line? They have been so close so many times. That is a foul called on the push from behind by a Falcons player, as trying to go for the defensive posture was the two of Lucas Andriozzi. And the Falcons are trying to question the referee's call, but there is no question about that. Andriozzi was going for the ball. The ball was in front. Well called by the referee. So Ferris inserts that one all the way back up to Mendez in front of the Huskies bench. And it's kicked out of play. Substitutions again. This time for the Huskies as Nenka exits in favor of the 19 of Maddox Canario. Back through the center. Spinning one. And a good strike off of the foot of the 11 of Sam Naifa. First point we've seen Sammy Naifa in the game today. From Ferris at the 6. Got a little bit too far on the side of that one. And had a little top spin to it. McDougal has to come across. Instead, it's a shot and a score. Luke Reiner hits the first goal of the day, and it's 1-0 to the Falcons. Restarted now by the Huskies as they trail after the Luke Reiner goal. 7.5 left to play here in the first. This one will go out of the byline. And it was last touched by a Falcons player, so it will be a 6 for the Huskies. Nothing really Aaron Ferris could do about that shot. It was a cracker from Reiner from about 16, 17 out and just curled and found the upper corner of the net. Beautiful shot from Reiner. Off of a Falcons player, looked to be that 20 of Baltimore. And outside just before the flag, so a deep throw in for McDougal. They will pause the clock in the stadium with 2 minutes remaining in the half, and the official time will be assessed by the referee at the center. And approaching on there was Melise, picked up by Ferris. So our clock as well is approximate to the referees. As we've noticed at points during the season, we've seen it get blown with there still being seconds on our clock. That one will be called by Sebastian Manes to be let alone. For Hay. Frias was calling for it. It will be a deep throw down for Reiner. Hay tried to one-touch it, and that went across. And they're going to call a dangerous play as Hayes' foot was well above his waist and just swinging around in midair as he missed the kick. Back for Aiden Hay, who dropped back into his defensive position. And substitution for both the Huskies and the Falcons with 5 left to go. College hockey season returns this weekend as the Providence College Friars men's club ice hockey team steps into action on Sunday evening. PC Women's Club will get their season underway October 2nd, and the University of Rhode Island Rams men's team returns to action on September 30th. So college hockey is back on Fans Only Sports Network for a second season. Go to Fans Only Sports, that's fansonlysportz.com for more information on how to get your home ice passes. I'm sure there are plenty of Mount Hope and Cranston West fans that will be turning their eyes to December and the high school hockey season. Cranston West getting a spiffy upgrade to the Veterans Memorial Rink. They'll play their first season ever with a Falcon logo and the Cranston West Falcons name painted into the ice surface at Veterans Memorial Rink. Maybe a long time coming for a program that's had a lot of success over the past couple of years. Out of play, as it will be tapped for Aiden Hay. Hay sends that one. Frias through the center, trying to be set up. Turn to the outside, push down, no call from the referee as Ferris cleared that away. Turned once again and kicked by Frias back right into the hands of Ferris, and what an interesting situation that was, as it looked with his foot on the ball at the 11 of Sam Naifa, got shoved from behind and no call from the referees. One way or another, no matter which team you root for, you don't like seeing plays like that happen. Turned back in by Naifa again. This one goes off of the foot of the 7 of Parker Camello. And we'll be out of play, and we are about to reach that 2-minute mark. So the clock on the top of your broadcast screen will continue to run, but we may hear a referee's whistle before that clock hits the quadruple zeros. That will signify the end of the first half of play. Inside for the 16 of Sebastian Manes, stretching one, and that one will go too far. Izzy will come out to get it as Aiden Weber was approaching. Bouncing through the center for Weber. Weber, Hudak, a little bit of miscommunication between the two of them. Weber then tries to spin a second attempt on the outside, was looking for Canario, could not connect. Camello, little too far. Taken by the Falcons, turned over by Frias. Frias carries up. Frias takes a strike from distance, and that one goes just wide. About a minute left to go here in the first half, and Falcons leading on the 1 goal roughly midway through the first half from Luke Reiner. McDougal after the kick from Ferris. Good overlap by McDougal. Tried to get there across the line was Weber. And it gets kicked all the way back by the Falcons defense. Melise overlapped with Hay. Went back to the center again for Frias. Falcons will be content to carry this one out in the final 20 seconds and go to the locker room. And as that actually is it, the referee will go ahead and whistle the half to its conclusion. 1-0 Falcons after one of play. You're watching Rhode Island High School Soccer on Fans Only Sports Network.
Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in?
Lynch sets back.
Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown.
And Boyd back out in front. A shot and a score. Into the zone. Right on the post side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice. Open goal and a score.
You know, if they can get the ball into that, Billy King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nil. Another shot on goal. Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in?
Lynch sets back.
Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown.
And Boyd back out in front. A shot and a score. Into the zone. Right on the post side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice. Open goal and a score.
You know, if they can get the ball into that, Billy King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nil. Another shot on goal. Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in?
Lynch sets back.
Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown.
And Boyd back out in front. A shot and a score. Into the zone. Right on the post side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice. Open goal and a score.
You know, if they can get the ball into that, Billy King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nil. Another shot on goal. Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in?
Lynch sets back.
Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown.
And Boyd back out in front. A shot and a score. Into the zone. Right on the post side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice. Open goal and a score.
You know, if they can get the ball into that, Billy King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nil. Another shot on goal. Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in?
Lynch sets back.
Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown.
And Boyd back out in front. A shot and a score. Into the zone. Right on the post side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice. Open goal and a score.
You know, if they can get the ball into that, Billy King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nil. Another shot on goal. Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in?
Lynch sets back.
Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown.
And Boyd back out in front, a shot and they score. In through the zone, they're right on the opposing side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice, open goal and they score.
You know, if they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn,
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal. Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in? Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown.
And boards back out in front, a shot and they score. In through the zone, they're right on the opposing side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice, open goal and they score.
you know, if they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn,
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal. Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in? Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown.
And boards back out in front, a shot and they score. In through the zone, they're right on the opposing side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice, open goal and they score.
you know, if they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn,
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal. Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in? Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown.
And boards back out in front, a shot and they score. In through the zone, they're right on the opposing side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice, open goal and they score.
you know, if they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn,
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal. Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in? Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown.
And boards back out in front, a shot and they score. In through the zone, they're right on the opposing side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice, open goal and they score.
you know, if they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn,
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal.
As we welcome you back for the second half of action. Cranston West leading the Mount Hope Huskies 1-0. And Huskies are going to get a free kick. Final third for the Falcons. A whistle and a stoppage of play. Check 1, 2. Try to get our microphones sorted here. Whistle and a stoppage of play. Free kick coming up for Sammy Duce. And we'll go off of the head of a Huskies player and out of play. Went off of the 6 of Colomita. Nanka. Thomas. Nanka. Can he beat Angelo? Is he back? Nanka looks, turns, takes a strike. That one came all the way back again and is tapped away. And Nanka had time and space. He could have taken a strike too, as he had Angelo Izzy still pulled. And it's pushed away by the Falcons defense. For the 8 of Talon Aguiar, and that one is taken away in the midfield. Griffin Berardo taps that across. Berardo looking for it in the center, was calling for it with his arm up, still open in space, looking for the throw to be checked to him. And instead they're going to go down the line into traffic, and it hits off of the side of Nenka and out of play. All right, Falcons throw, and 35 to go. First 5 gone by here in the second half. We thank you for tuning in this evening on Fans Only Sports Network. Yeah, so you just have to push up on that side. I don't know, that tripod's weird. We gotta figure that thing out. Was it when it goes the other way? Yeah, okay. So, hang on. I'm going to bring you back. And then readjust your plate. Yeah? All right. And a ball out of play. Sent back in, deep kick that went way up high on a one touch. Tried to be pulled back by the Falcons. On the outside for Reiner. Reiner has that one to the byline, and Reiner is pushed around. And they're going to say it's out off of him, and so a 6. I brought it down to like try to frame the shot better because like, yeah, you could zoom in like a little bit. A little bit more. You can go a little bit more. So it cuts like the track off. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's going to be the shot. Okay. Now we got how we're doing this. Up on the touchline. And a throw back in by Abraham Baldemar. Stretched play in the alley. Izzy on the back pass that came from the 12 of Ryan Jong. Forward once again for the 11 of Naipa. Turned by the 2 of Melise. Outside defensive play. Well played on the back line from the 4 of Joshua Martins. A whistle and a stoppage of play, and they're going to cause a stoppage of the clock with 32:02. As the referee has a discussion with one of the Cranston West players and one of the Mount Hope players as well. And it looked to be the 7 of Parker Camello he was talking to, and the West player may have been the 8 of Sammy Mduche. In for Ferris to make the save. Collected by the 19 of Canario. Down the line for the 8 of Aguiar. I think you're stepping on the cable. Oh yeah. No, your foot's on the cable. You're on the HDMI cable. And in for a goal. Hang on. Yes, the referee will finally say, well, Mount Hope's trying to question offside. And the referee is saying, no, it is a goal. Reiner picks up his 2nd of the game. And it's 2-0 Falcons. Spun around. Falcons trying to move again. Baldemar this time. He's taken away. That's finally moved forward by the 10 of Diego Gonzalez, who we finally see for the first time this evening. Did not call his name through the entire first half. Now we see Gonzalez in the second half. Can the Huskies turn the screws again in the second half of play? Bounces back up, hard shot. That one's going to go well wide. Opportunity that came from the 10 of Kyle Fay. .29 and change left to go here in regulation, and Falcons on a Luke Reiner goal in the first led 1-0. Luke Reiner goal in the second lead 2-0. deep kick, trying to outstretch Izzy again. Izzy has to come out and play with it, and he'll just kick that one into the shrubbery behind the benches. And so we'll get a throw-in for the Huskies.
And stuff like, yeah, it's just because the way the tripod's built, it doesn't have that forward lean like the JVC pod does. So I think that's going to have to be an outdoors. Like your shot at LaSalle was so good because you guys were on the roof. Yeah. You were outside. So we'll just have to figure that out. Always something with new equipment.
Huskies continue to try to work defensively in the neutral zone. And then pushed out. Falcons stretching that one down the outside alleyway again. Sam Naifa with a run. Good position play from the corner. Hudak sends that one well wide on the outside, stretching it for Wilson. Jesse Wilson with a run down the line. Wilson to the byline. Has to try to come across. Wilson does cut the cross. Second attempt by Wilson. Poked right in front. Turning opportunity as Izzy's out of the net. Comes back once again and then is kicked away by the Falcons. Jesse Wilson, Thomas Nenka and company just connected for about 3 or 4 opportunities there by the Huskies. And couldn't put one past Angelo Izzy, but it is out off of the Falcons in a corner for the Huskies. Back of the 18. Poked away by the Falcons. Will be cleared all the way back. Martins will shepherd it to Ferris. Ferris will go ahead and tap that one forward again for Martins. Martins had it dispossessed from him. Careful in the 18. Comes across the 24 of Frias. And it's pushed out of play by the Huskies, and it'll be a Falcons throw. Strike from the Falcons from distance as they try to bounce one across for Rivera. Strike again, and Ferris going up to knock that one over top of the crossbar. It'll be a corner for the Falcons and a huge save by Aaron Ferris. Ferris playing the full 80, or we expect to see him play the full 80 in net tonight. And this has been a tale of the Mount Hope season. 11 players on the field in the first half, 11 players on the field in the second half. Minus the goaltenders who have sometimes platooned or not, as Aaron Ferris getting the full 80 today. And Mount Hope has had tales of 2 halves. See if they can do another one tonight. Aguiar, Pay, Camelo Correa, Martins, Gonzalez, Berardo, Nenka, Canario, Wilson. None of whom we called during the first half of the game. The 11 players on the field in the second half of this game. This one down in the final third for the Falcons, trying to turn across. Pushed out. And a good run of play on the far side touchline to take that one as looked to be that 19 of Maddox Canario, and it was. We remarked about this in one of the games earlier in the season. If you put Canario and Hudak next to each other, the only difference between the two of them is their face. These guys are same hair color, same style, same body size, play very much the same style on the field of play. Just a little different look in the face. And otherwise, you would think that Maddox Canario is Aiden Hudak sometimes and vice versa. Two very talented midfield players for this Huskies side. And two who will be here. Aiden Hudak, a freshman. Maddox Canario, I believe, and I'm going to check this one. Yes, I'm correct, is a sophomore. So Canario is here for 2 more seasons. Hudak will be here for 3 after this season. So we will see Canario and Hudak likely together on the field at some point in the next year. For the 10 of Diego Gonzalez, another one of the talented freshmen on this side, as that one is pushed by Nenka past Ferris. And they're going to call a corner. They're going to say it went off of the edge of the 23 of Casey Gooch. So a corner opportunity for Maddox Canario and the Huskies. Good ball up top in the box, and that one is sent just high. So a 6 to come in substitutions for the Falcons. All the way through. Ferris kicks that one away. Progressing out of the back third, Huskies to midfield, no one there. So the Falcons will be able to send it across on the switch. Now they'll switch back again. They'll work with Izzy on a back pass play. One approaching forward, which is Nenka. Now Canario comes up to try to attack as he goes up on the 15 of Merlino.
Why are you playing a 1-4? Like, what is that?
I have no idea.
Mount Hope. Like, I've never seen a formation like that.
And a shot that goes wide as Reiner was looking for the Hattie. A whistle and a substitution and a bevy of substitutions for Cranston West. They'll bring in 5 players off the bench. So fresh 5 on the field for the Falcons. With 19 and change left to go. Gonzalez Looking for a streaking ball for Nenka. Second opportunity, slots that one through. Nenka will have it kicked away by Merlino. It might have been Manas. Actually, that's Manas and Merlino both back there. So one shielding off the player from the ball, one taking the kick away. Turned by the 10. And a shot attempt as coming up. That time, it was the 7 of Parker Camello, and he was impacted by Izzy. Cranston was going to go with a progressive play out of the backfield now. Good clear up the alley, right to midfield. Ball bounces up. Canario spins that one off. Canario is pushed, does not go to ground, and they're going to call the foul on the Falcons, and so it will be a free kick for the Huskies. From the side again. Kicked back along the alleyway. Martins tries to clean it up. He cannot. Falcons will get the throw in. Center of the field for Camello. Camello tried to tap that one forward for Berardo. No room for him. Goes to Nenka. 2 white jerseys right there. And they're going to call a dangerous play on Parker Camello as he got his leg a little high up. And now Parker Camello is going to get a chat from the referee. No card issued, but just a warning. And it's the second time Parker Camello has been whistled for a dangerous kick play. That one looped in, and Ferris was able to see the pop fly all the way. And we'll take the boot to midfield. Taken by the Falcons once again. Trying to spin off of that one was Canario out into the touchline. No one there in the alleyway. Nenka would have been the overlap, but he was all the way back in the middle of the field. Stretched throw, came all the way back, and a strike. Ferris is going to get that one off of the ground on the opportunity that came from Sam Naipa. Naipa split through 2 back defenders. A wedge 4 in the backfield, only 2 on that back line with the 11 of Carson Correa and the 4 of Joshua Martins. And sliding down to try to make a tackle and getting it to deflect off was a 23 of Jesse Wilson. Aguiar. Cross for Camello. Parker Camello looks. Camello can't find anyone in space. Has to drag out to the angle himself, and then Camello comes back as there are 6 white jerseys in the box against 3 black jerseys for the Mount Hope Huskies. 14 and change remaining here in the second half. Mount Hope will be back in action on this field Wednesday as they take on the LaSalle Rams before they go on the road for 2 Saturday against Moses Brown and the following Wednesday against Portsmouth. And then 3 straight at home to close the month of September, start the month of October with North Kingstown, South Kingstown, and Barrington come to play. A weird space to be in 5 games into the season and saying that the Mount Hope Huskies are still searching for their first win of the season. Not what we've normally called out of Huskies soccer in the past few years. Hope that they can change their fortunes quickly.
I'm being deliberate right now.
Not the way he plays.
A whistle and a stoppage of play, and substitutions will come for the Cranston West Falcons as the ball out of play on the far side touchline. Rhode Island High School Sports on Fans Only Sports Network, brought to you by Joseph Lammy, 696 Reservoir Avenue in Cranston, Rhode Island. Joseph Lammy, attorney at law. Visit josephlammy.com. And by our elite recruits with access to 3,000 schools and 80,000 coaches across 38 NCAA sports. For athletes looking to play at the next level, be seen by being a part of the nation's #1 recruiting service. Join rreliterecruits.com today. Mount Hope High School, Bristol, Rhode Island, down on the shore side, the bay side of the Ocean State. As getting tripped, is it in the box? Yes, it is. And a penalty kick coming for the Falcons, as going down from behind was Sammy Mduche.
Are they going to score?
And the kick will be taken by the 2 of Chris Melise against Aaron Ferris. Ferris bouncing on the balls of his feet, cannot leave the line until the kick's taken, and it goes to the opposite side corner, and they do score. .12:02 left to play. And the Falcons lead 3-0 over a Mount Hope Huskies side that has been one of the staunchest in the state in years past, and still with many of those players on this side. Martins and another West player shoved down in the box. This time no call from the referees. Martins peels that one off of the back line and is able to continue it on. Right back into 4 white jerseys for the Falcons, and then taken across. Ferris will scoop up the kick. Deep kick by Ferris. Bounces across, headed away by the 15 of Merlino on the back line for the Falcons. And 21 of Justin Mendez in open space in the center as Hudak goes up and down, actually, and then the 19 of Canario tries to go, and he goes up and down, and now we get a whistle, and I think we're going to get a free kick called for the Falcons.
How'd you do?
Girls went 2-0, and we went 0-2. So it was close though.
That one will bounce across for Ferris. Good kick. And he's sent all the way back. In the alleyway on the far side line. No overlap from the Huskies. Ping pongs around for Canario. Canario tries to go down. Has 3 white jerseys right in front of him. And the Falcons are able to clear away to Cullen Conjahan on the opposite side. And sent out of play. It will be a Huskies throw. McDougal back in the game now as he works with Mendes for Nenka. Falcons continue to clear. Canario, good 1-2 with Mendes. Turns back for Nenka. Coming back again. Mendes has it. Trapped on the touchline. Comes back for McDougal. 5 white jerseys, around 3 offensively black jerseys right now. As Nenka is in space in the center, and they continue to try to work touchline. McDougal. Comes back one more time for Parker Camello. Camello and McDougal send that one all the way across. It bounces to Izzy. He'll kick it to the Mount Hope bench. And another substitution coming up for the Falcons. And a throw in for the Huskies.
What did you say you guys,
We lost 0-2, but
well, how'd your runners do?
they did well. They were all good. They a couple of PRs, especially the freshmen, they did really well. So with that being said, our team is 14.
Hudak. Outside corner. Coming across once again
Girls did really well though.
for Mendes. Bottled up in midfield and out of play in a Falcons throw.
I'm gonna take them stuff in the stands.
Huh?
I'm gonna take them stuff at the
I'll get the 4 flags.
and then I was gonna flag over here.
Out of play once again. This time it will be off of a Huskies midfielder, and so a Falcons throw to come. Huskies defensively, that one's going to roll on a miscue on the back line and popping the gritty for goal number 4. And it's Luke Reiner hitting the hat trick.
Because they're not. Because they're playing one forward.
So a 4-0 lead for the Falcons with 6 and change left to go here in the second. Reiner has 3 of the Falcons' 4 goals. McDougal. Gonzalez stacked by 2 Falcons defenders as Camello was right there on the edge. To the opposite side, pushed out by the Falcons. Mendes immediately met by 2 white jerseys, now 3, and Falcons have run of the ball. for the 17 of Diego Alvarez. Alvarez sends that one forward for Reiner, who has that hat trick now. Spun through the middle. A back heel from Rendon. And a 6. No, my apologies, a corner called coming up for the Falcons. Reiner back through the midfield. Away from the 10 of Gonzalez. Cleared out of play. Wilson has to make an epic run just to try to get on the ball. It stays in and then just trickles across the baseline at the last second.
He has to run 40 yards to get a ball because it's sent from the backfield, and he's back here because there's no midfield possession for overlap. This is like U8 ball. This is stuff I teach. Like, just kick the ball away.
Mendez is able to earn a throw in for Wilson. Jesse Wilson, 2 jerseys in front of him. Wilson tries to get a beat on it, and it rolls right to Izzy.
He's in the box in the 18, and the other guys are back here 30 yards away from him. Like, there's no help. I've never seen that before. Jesse Wilson up here in the 18, 2 guys back 30 yards away from him. Wilson can't take that with 2 white jerseys on him. He has to come back on the corner pass to get across.
Wilson again. Wilson now slots this one forward. Across. And then before it can be trapped and settled on the foot of Parker Camello, it is met and sent out by Diego Alvarez for the Falcons, and a corner kick to come. Maddox Canario or Aiden Hudak? Hudak into the box, popped up and caught by Izzy. We approach the final 2 of regulation. And they'll, as we mentioned, stop the stadium clock at 2, and we'll continue ours. But the referees did whistle with what we had was 24 seconds left on our broadcast clock. So, as always, to say official times on the field, Jesse Wilson sliding across to tackle out Wilson. And it looked to be Vinny Merlino that made the slide tackle, but it was Merlino. And the ball off of him for a Huskies corner.
It's in the official's hands.
So we've crossed that 2-minute mark, and now we're into the hands of the officials controlling the time on the field. Into the box on a low kick. That one actually went to the right-hand side of the flagpole. So it'll be a corner for the Huskies again. Hudak's going to go over to take this one. Hudak, good ball up. Got it to curl free in the mixer. Comes away and the Falcons defense clears it. 2 attacking. McDougal makes a great play to drop back and come across for Hudak. Hudak trying to look for anybody in the alley, has nowhere to go, and he's dispossessed. Back to center. Good trap and takeaway from the 7 of Parker Camello. Diego Gonzalez outside line. Reiner goes through Andriozzi. Reiner cuts that one across, and it curled away, and will just be strict from distance. So Ferris, with the referees looking at their watches, will take a progressive kick from the backfield. That one with a strike goes all the way across, and that will likely do it. Referee has his whistle to his mouth, and in all likelihoods on this kick from Ferris, we'll go ahead and get the whistle, and Ferris actually won't even get the kick as the whistle will sound.
I'll be back later to take care of
Falcons 4, Huskies 0 after 80 minutes of play. And we will send you to Wednesday night. Huskies will be back in action against the LaSalle Rams right here on Fans Only Sports Network. Until then, from Matt Gillis, Noah Robert, all of us here at Fans Only Sports Network, have a great evening.
Supposed to take
The drive.
right?
Yeah, give us a moment.
no, don't worry.
And